If you think that the key to scaling your business is creating endless checklists and SOPs, I've got great news for you. You don't have to document everything. In fact, doing that is probably why you feel overworked, underpaid, and secretly wondering if scaling this business might actually kill you. I know it did for me. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple systems you can hardwire into your business so that it runs without you, based on neuroscience, while you'll reclaim 10 to 20 hours back in your week and increase your profit. I'm Dr. Shannon Irvin, and I've helped thousands of 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs scale using neuroscience-backed systems that free up their time, scale their business, and grow their profit. And to be honest, this isn't just theory for me. I scaled my business to 5.2 million, but I was the lowest paid employee. I was running on burnout, one bad week away from shutting it all down. And I don't want you to ever feel that way. Here's what I see all the time was true for me. On paper, your business looks great. Revenue's climbing, clients are coming in, you're hiring. But behind the scenes, you're still the one answering all the questions, like 43 before lunch, right? Profit isn't keeping up with revenue, and your time is disappearing as you hire more people. So frustrating, right? And here's the part no one says out loud. The only way to scale is to give more of me. It just might kill me. I know I said that. So scaling doesn't need to mean more of you. It's installing hardwired automatic systems that do the heavy lifting so you can lead, think, and actually enjoy the business you've built. And here's the best part. You do not need to overanalyze an SOP every process. You only need to hardwire the 5 systems that actually move the needle. All right, let's dive into these 5 systems now. So the first is the CEO system. This is hardwiring you. It's the very first system. It's not about your business. It's about you. Because if you're wired for survival mode, your business will stay in survival mode. We've got to rewire or hardwire how you make decisions, how you lead, and how you hire so that you can step into the true scaling and owner's role. If you skip this, you end up with more sales, maybe even more profit potentially, but 0 time and 0 energy. So here's where to start. First of all, we need to dive into what are the patterns that are working for you and what are the patterns in your subconscious that aren't. In other words, we need to parse through what's survival and what's scale. We'll keep all the subconscious pattern that could lead you to scale, but we absolutely need to unhook you from those survival patterns, or you will not scale to the place that you want. All right, that's the first step. The next step is we got to really help you hardwire 8-figure patterns. In other words, there are very specific patterns that 8-figure business owners automate in their subconscious, lead through, decide through, hire through. And when we hardwire ourselves as CEOs to think that way, this becomes more simple, more aligned, and more authentic. And once we do that, automating these brain pathways, these ways of thinking, this leadership is how you put it on autopilot. It's how you then now pull forward the right employees, the right systems, the right processes to pull you out of working in the business and start to work on the business. That doesn't happen by pushing and grinding more. We also get to unpack how to lead, decide, and scale from systems versus survival. When we become a hardwired CEO, then our thinking, our decision, and our leadership align with where we want to go versus the survival of just a little bit more. So that's system number 1. It starts with you, hardwired CEO. The next system up is the time system, to hardwire your time for return on investment. Most founders are still trading time for money. We do a simple time assessment, just 2 categories here. Is this activity revenue generating or profit generating, or is it costing me time without a return? Here's how to actually do this analysis effectively. First, we've got to start off with, what does an effective 8-figure CEO actually spend their time on? First of all, they're leading A players and revenue generators. They're not leading people that are task doers. That's number 1. They're also optimizing the client experience. They're spending time building relationships and their own personal development. Now, I can't go into all of the patterns that 8-figure entrepreneurs, 8-figure business owners, founders, CEOs have, but this is key in terms of how you spend your time. Because if you're spending your time like a struggling, barely getting to 6-figure entrepreneur, you cannot scale to 7 or 8 figures, because what's going to happen is it is going to require more of you. We've got to literally hardwire a time system that allows you to be in the tasks, be in the driver's seat of your business, working on it, not in it. Okay, so here's something you can do right now to kind of take a snapshot of where you are. Write down in one full week without editing everything you do. So a great way to do this is to set a little timer on your watch or your phone. Yes, it's going to buzz you for a week, but think about getting 10 to 20 hours back in your life every single week. It's worth the momentary frustration, right? So do that for a week solid, Monday through Sunday. Every 30 minutes, just ask yourself this one question. What did I do the last 30 minutes? And then write it down with a timestamp and keep going like that for one full week. And then at the end of that week, I just want you to grab 2 different color highlighters, all right? 2 different color highlighters. And you're going to highlight the revenue and profit driving generator activities in green. And then everything that did not generate revenue, did not generate profit, or did not generate the ability to create that gets to be red. Then what we do is look through that and really help you start to see that compared to how an 8-figure CEO spends their time. It is so eye-opening. In fact, the first time that you do it, you might immediately find 10 hours back in your week. When you align your time with your highest return on investment activities, you free up 10 to 20 hours a week within the first 7 days. Okay, next up is the team system, hardwiring your people as revenue generators. Your team should be profit generators, not just task doers. Every hire should increase profit, not reduce it. That means learning how to hire A players that are revenue generators, building systems for decision transfer to these high-level employees, onboarding and empowering A players who can take the ball and run with it. And it also means ending the founder tug of war where you hand something off, but you never actually let it go. Oh man, I know it. Okay, here's what to do instead. Start to become aware of how you make decisions. What's the driving force behind the decisions that you make? Document it, right? Just write it down. When I'm in this situation, I made this decision for this reason. When I'm in this situation, I make this decision for this reason. Implement the systems that your team can actually follow to get better results. So it is not about SOPs and giving them what to do. It's about downloading for them your thinking matrix, your thinking process. Okay, here's a way to get started on this. I call it the 1-3-1 go. So 1-3-1 go is you work with your team members to say, okay, if you have a problem, here's the problem. That's one problem. And then you coach your team members to come up with 3 potential solutions that align with your culture and your outcomes that are clearly defined. And then you ask them to bring to you one decision that they believe is the best decision. And then you coach them. If we're hardwiring this area, you've already given them a thought matrix to work through. You've employed the 1-3-1 go. So it looks something like this. Let's say you go to your marketing manager, comes to you, and they would say, okay, Shannon, I have this problem. I have researched and I've come up with these 3 solutions, all viable based on who we are, where we're headed, what we're doing, what matters most to us. Here is the one decision I have made, and here is why I have made it. And then really from that point, it's an answer of go or not go. Go means hopefully they've really downloaded your thought matrix and off they go. If they haven't, it's an opportunity to coach, not them, but coach them understanding how you make decisions. The more you do this, the less you will be needed in your business. Okay, now we're at the sexy system, the profit system. Hardwiring profit into a machine. Listen, revenue is exciting. Profit is freedom. Let me say that again. Revenue is exciting, but profit is freedom. And isn't that why you started the business? But people who are stuck and not scaling are always looking at the top line, drive, right? That's not a business. Have you ever had a budget with nothing left over? Not fun, right? Most entrepreneurs only look at that top line growth, but without hardwiring profit systems, you'll work harder and you'll keep less. When you hardwire profit into your business, every dollar in growth puts more in your pocket, not just into expenses. With this system, we get to map your profit engine, how leads become paying clients and how paying clients become profit. Here's how. First of all, just analyze where you are right now with spending. What I do is I take a month's worth of expenditures and I ask, is it necessary for results? and revenue and profit, or can it be let go? Right now, when we do this with our 67-day-year CEO clients, sometimes they'll get an additional 20% down to the bottom line when we're walking it through with them with our 8-figure goggles on, right? So sometimes it really, really helps to have someone who's been where you want to go, be able to evaluate your time, your team, your profit, and your delivery, and of course yourself, to be able to really see, is this particular item really driving my revenue, or is it just something I added because I'm a visionary and I just pay for systems to solve problems? We're going to flip that for you in this system, right? What you can also do here in this system is evaluate your key performance indicators, or KPIs, so every team member becomes a revenue producer. We can look through exactly how we're measuring the performance of our employees so that it directly ties to one of two things: more revenue or more profit. That is where freedom gets created. And then we're going to automate that, not recreate it, meaning we're not going to constantly be giving them 100 new things. Visionaries, I get you, I am you. But let me tell you this, new is not sexy. New is cumbersome. Like, if you're really wanting to scale, having your team truly become revenue generators in one direction is everything. Okay, let's dive into the fifth and final system you must hardwire to scale, and that is the delivery or the client system. And here we've got to visualize to optimize and scale. You need to be able to see how your business actually runs in terms of client results. Your clients must have a 10 out of 10 experience, but not you who's creating it. Here we're talking about mapping out your delivery engine. How do you deliver a 10 out of 10 without you doing it all? Then identifying the power stages that are mission critical. Document only those. Everything else, don't waste your time on. Here's how we do this. Decide on the key wins you want your clients to get inside your business. And then have a roadmap that other team members can take them through so that everyone is delivering the same experience at the same time. Now, for service-based businesses, agencies, coaches, consultants, that means having wins baked into the results that they're getting. Listen, if they're buying something from you, you must get them a result. You're ethically obligated. So creating this delivery system is about looking at where is A, where is Z, and what are the winning moments in between that we can measure, celebrate, and ask for reviews after. All right. This is how we really deliver an experience that keeps people coming back for more. So have that roadmap that other team members can take your clients through so the experience is elevated, which leads to what in our world, in the 67-day-year CEO, we call the 4R system. That's part of the client delivery hardwiring. 4Rs stand for retention, renewal, referral, and reviews. When you have this delivery system hardwired, those 4 key things take the people who have already said yes and takes your business to scales, literally dropping all of that extra revenue for retention, renewal, referral, and what will come in because of reviews, right? The bottom line, profit line, the one that you take home. And then finally, in this delivery system, we ask. We really want to make sure that our clients are getting what we say that they're getting, and that there's a feedback loop so that we can continue to improve our programs. And we're connecting that to a key performance indicator within our hardwired team so that they are seeing it, managing it, and making sure it's at the level that you expect. Look, I know what it's like to be the most overworked, underpaid person in your own business. I also know what it feels like to wake up, open your laptop, and realize your team is running the business without you. And I want that for you. If you want my help mapping out your 5 simple systems so that your business runs without you, I'm offering a free Systems to Scale session. We'll look at your team, we'll look at your time, your profit, and your growth and fulfillment engines, and we'll map out your best next step on a call. The link's in the description somewhere around this video. This is for those that are at 6 figures or above, so 6 and 7 figures with at least 1 team member. Listen, more profit with less of you isn't just a dream, it's a system. Hardwire these 5 and scaling stops feeling like survival. It starts becoming true freedom.